Please sit, ideally on a mat on the floor. And for this lesson, you might want something under your pelvis to raise it up a bit. It depends if you're comfortable sitting on the floor. Maybe a couple of towels or a rolled up yoga mat. And please bring the sole of your right foot to the floor and bring your right palm to the floor. And just have your left leg and hand wherever they're comfortable. So you have the sole of your right foot on the floor and your right palm on the floor. And begin to, very gently, press your right thumb into the floor and then your right big toe into the floor for a moment and then let them go. So play around with that movement several times. You press your right thumb into the floor gently and then press your right big toe into the floor and then release them both. It's as if your right thumb is sort of teaching your right big toe something. And just let this be a little messy. And anything else that needs to move as you do this, that's fine. Let it move. Whether that's your ankle or other parts of your foot, your knee, your wrist. So your right palm is resting somewhat on the floor, if that's comfortable. All right. And let that go. Just rest in sitting for a moment, however you like. Your right hand and foot don't have to stay palm and sole on the floor as you rest. And by the way, if you don't like sitting up like this, if it's uncomfortable at all, you can modify this and lie on your back for this lesson. You could lie on your back with your right foot in standing and your right palm somewhere on the floor. So do that if you like. And now bring your attention to your second toe on your right foot and your index finger on your right hand. And again, lead the movement with your finger and your toe follows a moment later. Your second finger presses gently into the floor, and then your second toe on the right foot presses. And then let go of both. Do this several times in your own time, easily, gently. Notice your breathing as you do this, and just play with the movement. Press your second finger, then your second toe joins in with the pressing, and then you let go and pause for a moment. And then deliberately beginning another movement. And don't worry if other toes are moving. That's completely to be expected here. All right, and move on to your middle finger and middle toe of your right hand and foot. Pressing with finger, then toe, then letting go at the same time. And can you sort of divide your attention between what you're doing, which is very specific with your hand and foot, and the rest of yourself? And just have a very clear intention, even if the result that you're getting is not as precise as you might like. All right, and please move on to your ring finger and fourth toe of your right hand and foot. And just notice what this is like. How does it compare to the other toes? Many people say the fourth toe is a little unclear in their imagination. Just try this a few times. And then move on to the pinky finger and pinky toe of your right hand and foot. And you simply press the finger, and then the toe, and then let go. And do that a few times. And notice, what, if anything, do you do in your right ankle, your right wrist? All right, and please rest. And if you're sitting, you may choose to lie on your back and rest for a moment. Or you may choose to just sit in a different position for a moment. And as you rest, sense your right side and your left side. And whether you sense any difference between your right side and your left side. Which side is more apparent to you in your self-image? If you're lying down, does one side, the right or the left, feel a little flatter on the floor than the other? Which side, if either? And what about your breathing on your right side compared to your left? And I ask these questions only to direct your attention to things that may be happening, not that it should be true for you in some way. All right, when you're ready, please bring the bottom of your left foot to the floor and your left palm to the floor. And again, you could be sitting or lying down for this. And begin to play around with these movements on your left side. So you press your left thumb, and then you add pressing your left big toe a moment later, and then let go of both. And just try that a few times in your own time. And in your own time, move on to your second finger and second toe. And sequentially, working your way slowly through your fingers and toes on the left side. Just gently, easily, unambitiously. Being clear in your intention without worrying about the result. So your finger presses just before your toe, and then they let go. And when you've done that to your satisfaction, please rest. You can change your position a little bit to rest. And observe yourself now. Observe your left side, your right side. And overall, have you brought about a change in quality? How are you breathing now? And please come to sitting if you're not there already. You could be in a chair for this part of the lesson if you like, or on the floor. And please choose a foot. And bring your foot into your lap or somewhere where you can get a hold of it with your hands. Ideally, you're looking at the bottom of your foot. But if that's not possible, that's okay. And simply palpate, touch your heel with your hands. So just feel your heel. You're sort of giving yourself the information that that's where your heel is and that's the shape of it. And try to feel the bone, if you can, all around the heel on that foot. And then move on and touch the ball of your foot where your big toe begins and ends. So if you wiggle your toes, you can feel in the ball of your foot that joint of the big toe. And just palpating with your thumbs or your fingers. And then move over, and can you find in the ball of your foot where your fourth toe begins and ends? You can push into that part of the ball of your foot where your fourth toe is, gently, and do whatever you need to do to find that. You can sort of trace from the tip of your fourth toe down to the ball of the foot. All right, so now, once more, touch your heel on that foot, then the ball of the foot where your big toe is, and the ball of the foot where your fourth toe is. So these are the three spots that I'd like you to notice here and take note of. And these three spots are what we can refer to as the tripod of the foot. So now, can you just put that foot that you were just working with on the floor and just see. Can you have some sort of sense of that tripod, of these 3 places on the foot you were just working with? All right, and now do the same thing with your other foot. And you can do this a little faster on this foot, just palpating, feeling your heel, getting a sense of the shape of the bone, and feel the head of the first metatarsal, so the big toe where it is in the ball of your foot. Just feeling that with your thumbs or fingers, giving yourself the information that's where that spot is. And then doing the same thing with the head of the 4th metatarsal, so where your 4th toe is in the ball of your foot. And you can trace from the tip of your 4th toe down to the ball of the foot. And then can you touch all 3 of those spots? So your heel, the big toe in the ball of the foot, and the 4th toe in the ball of the foot. So those are the 3 parts of the tripod for this foot. And now put that foot on the floor and just sense. And I would invite you, as you go about your day, to just bring your attention to the idea of these tripods, if you can feel them, when you're sitting at your desk, when you're standing in a lineup somewhere. Anything you're doing when your feet are on the floor, you can think of these tripods. And thinking of them as your base of support. And in a moment, you can stand and observe anything new about the way you stand. All right. Thank you.